Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share a video on some makeup products I'm glad I didn't buy. I do have a few videos like this on my channel and I just think they're fun. Sometimes when new makeup products and collections are announced, you feel like you have to have those products or they would be the perfect addition to your collection. You would enjoy them so much, and maybe that really is the case. But then sometimes once time goes by and the hype kind of dies down, you realize you didn't need it and you're glad you didn't buy it. Maybe you found something similar in your collection, or maybe it just started getting really bad reviews. Whatever the reason, sometimes there are products I'm glad I didn't spend my money on. So I'm going to share some of those with you guys in today's video. Let's start with the Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Foundation. I was thinking about buying this product during the Sephora VIB sale. I did a video talking about my wish list and products I was thinking about buying, and I had this product as well as a few other foundations or complexion products on my list. And I asked you guys if you had tried it and what you thought about it. And it did get some mixed reviews. Some people liked it, but a lot of people who had combo or oily skin said it just did not end up working out well for them. A lot of the comments said it broke apart on them, it looked really oily, it kind of slid all over the place. Even some people who had dry skin said it made their skin look oily. So, as someone who has oily skin, that's just not the type of look that I'm typically going for. And I know that face products can work differently for everyone. So there are some people who said they really enjoyed it, but I just felt like I really didn't want to take a chance on that when there were a couple of other products on my list that I was thinking about trying. It's just hard with oily skin because, even some of the most mattifying products will look oily and sometimes hydrating products will hold up well. So it really is so tricky no matter what I try, but I tend to try to avoid products that break down pretty quickly, especially now that we're in the middle of spring and summer is right around the corner. So if you guys have oily skin like I do, please let me know what your go-to foundations are. I would love to know. I have a few that I love, but I feel like I've just been wanting to try out some new formulas. One palette that I thought about buying like 14 different times over the past few months is the Natasha Denona Mini Love Palette. This is such a cute little 5-pan palette and it's $25. So it's something that I could have just kind of thrown onto an order whenever I was placing a Sephora order. It has pinks and purples and just shades I know that I would love and reach for. But when this came out, which was kind of around Valentine's Day, I decided to break out my full-sized Natasha Denona Love palette and use that one and just kind of be content with that. And I was actually able to get so much use out of that. Now, I have heard from a lot of you guys who said the Mini Love palette is such a good complementary palette to the full-size Love palette, and I believe it because it's really pretty. But I always feel myself getting pulled in by these beautiful pink and purple Valentine's Day collections. And as much as I love pink and purple, I mean, I'm wearing kind of like a pink shadow today. Pink and purple aren't shades that I reach for all year long. I tend to switch up the shades that I wear depending on the season. So I feel like because I didn't buy this one, I was able to get even more use out of a palette I already owned, which was great. So again, I'm glad I skipped over it. It is really pretty, but I feel like now that, Valentine's Day is over and I'm not seeing this palette pop up in my YouTube subscription box, I haven't really even thought about it. As beautiful as it is, I think I can safely say I'm glad I didn't buy the Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette. This was the first full-sized Natasha Denona palette I kind of considered. When it was initially released, I was like, I'm not going to buy it. I don't need to spend that much on a palette. But again, I started seeing reviews on YouTube and people were creating gorgeous looks. They had amazing things to say about it. And I honestly don't doubt that the quality is good. This has a bunch of beautiful jewel toned metallics. I feel like they would just glide on the eyes so perfectly. And part of me was like, well, I can get it during the Sephora VIB sale, but even still, with the discount, that palette is still over $100. And when it comes down to it, I don't know that I would use it enough to justify that price tag. I do like colorful eyeshadow, but I feel like over the past year, I just haven't been reaching for it as much lately, and I'll still apply it on occasion, but for the most part, I tend to reach for neutrals or golden shadows, or I'll kind of mix colorfuls and neutrals like I did today. So I just don't know that I would reach for this that much. If I had purchased it, I feel like I would have done some fun looks with it, and then it probably would have found its way to the back of my drawer eventually. So it's pretty, and I feel like it's a palette that I've been able to admire from afar. It's just not something I feel like I would have used enough to justify that price point. So in the end, even though it is a gorgeous palette, it's getting such good reviews, I'm glad I skipped over it. Along the same lines, I have to say I'm glad I didn't buy the Melt Cosmetics Blueprint palette. This came out in January, and I don't think I've worn blue eyeshadow once since January. probably even longer than that. I don't know if I've even worn blue eyeshadow in the past year. It has been a long time. I went through this major blue eyeshadow phase a few summers ago, and I feel like maybe that was the last time I really wore blue eyeshadow. And when I initially saw this palette, I thought it was really pretty because I did want the blueprint stack when they first released it, but I just don't usually like their stack packaging. So now that they're kind of doing more palettes, I feel like the brand appeals to me more. I think if I did purchase that palette, I would have worn it for sure. I would have done some really fun blue looks, some like warm tones and blues mixed together. But again, I feel like it would have just made its way to the back of my drawer. And at this point, I feel like I have enough colorful eyeshadow in my collection that if I want to do a blue look or a green look, I'm set and I don't need to purchase really intense, colorful eyeshadow palettes for the most part. Palettes in general have lost a little bit of their excitement to me. I used to get so excited when a brand was releasing a new eyeshadow palette, and these days I feel like I can skip over them pretty easily, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way. Even if you have like a smaller eyeshadow palette collection, it's like we see a new one every single day at this point. So it really has to be something super interesting or really intriguing to pull me in. But for the most part, I feel like I can duplicate a lot of the new releases with colors and palettes I already own. So I don't know, like what does a palette have to look like to pull you in? Do you feel like you're just sick of eyeshadow palettes? Do you feel like they still pull you in when brands release them? I don't know, I just feel like they aren't doing it for me as much lately. I still like eyeshadow palettes. I purchased the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde recently. I got it on sale and the textures are a lot of fun. So I am enjoying that one. I will say that's one that did get my attention, but for the most part, they're not doing it for me lately. Okay, so this palette is actually a newer release from Melt Cosmetics. It's the Mary Jane palette, and when this one came out, this one did catch my eye, and it's because I have been wearing neutral eyeshadows so much lately, and I told myself that my next eyeshadow palette from Melt was going to be more of a neutral palette. So this definitely kind of like fell into the category that I was looking for. I love cooler tones, and I love Melt's formula. But after I saw like additional photos, some swatches, I felt like it was just a little bit too close to Natasha Denona's Glam palette. Also, one of you guys left a comment on my Purchase or Pass video saying that it kind of reminded you of the Sultry palette from ABH, and I don't know why I didn't even think about that, but I think between the Sultry palette and the Glam palette, I'm kind of set with cool toned neutrals. I love both of those. I recently used both of those. So I feel like when it comes to that, how many more cool toned neutral palettes do I really need unless they add something different to my collection? And I love Melt's formula, but I'm glad I skipped over this one because I feel like I really could duplicate all of these shades between Sultry and Glam, and because of that, I've been reaching for them a little bit more lately. So I almost bought one of the Huda Beauty Haze Obsessions palettes when they were first released, and then again when they were on sale, I think back in February. I thought about buying them again, maybe that was March, but I'm glad I didn't because I was looking at reviews the other day, and these have kind of bad reviews. A lot of people are saying the formula is dry and patchy. I do feel like Huda Beauty palettes tend to get mixed reviews, and I don't know because I'm not super familiar with the brand, but the Mercury Retrograde palette blends like a dream. It is so easy to use, and I absolutely love the formula. So I don't know, like what is your experience with the brand and the palettes? I guess in general, I hear pretty good things about the eyeshadow formula, but then when I read the reviews on Sephora's website, they're very, very mixed. I don't know if that's the case with all of the palettes, but it's definitely the case with the Haze Obsessions palettes. So I am glad that I did not try those because if I had purchased one of those, I probably never would have picked up Mercury Retrograde or anything else from the brand after trying like a dry, patchy palette. I haven't tried a lot of products from Marc Jacobs Beauty, but they did release a collection a few months ago that I thought was really pretty. But I have to say, I think the packaging and the theme was kind of pulling me in, and that was definitely part of the reason I wanted to try it out, because now when I look at the products, they just don't look like anything super special. So I was planning on grabbing one of the Omega 3 powder blush, bronze, and highlight palettes. They're normally $49, and I completely forgot about them. I must have just lost interest in the collection as a whole until I was scrolling through Sephora's website the other day, and they're actually on sale. I feel like they went on sale very, very quickly. I don't know if they are just discontinuing the line because it was a limited edition collection, but I also feel like maybe it just wasn't selling well. These have a lot of mixed reviews, and even when I mentioned them in my video, a few people who had purchased the product said the formula was just very lackluster. It wasn't anything special. So I am glad that I did not spend $49 on one of these. I don't want like lackluster cheek products in my collection. Also, I don't typically love base palettes like this. It looks like it's a little bit larger. Maybe it would take up a lot of space. I don't know why I was so drawn to it. I think it was just the fact that the collection was getting a little bit of hype. The packaging was so pretty. If you did want to try these, they are discounted on Sephora's website. I'm sure you'll be able to maybe find them at TJ Maxx. I never get any of the good TJ Maxx finds at my store that I see everyone talking about, so I doubt I'll see these at my TJ Maxx, but they are already on sale. I also thought about buying the Extra Shot concealer and foundation that was released at the same time because I did like the idea behind this product. You can use it as a concealer or a foundation. The formula is supposed to be long wearing, full coverage, and also have more of a natural finish. And again, this is on sale, so I don't know if they're planning on discontinuing this line. Maybe it's just not selling well. I feel like it is a little bit overpriced for what you get. $39 for half an ounce is pretty expensive, and if you were to use this as a foundation, you'd probably go through it pretty quickly. The last thing I wanted to mention is something that could be a little bit controversial, so maybe I'll cut this out, but I'm going to say I'm glad I did not buy the Glow Lust, which is from Auric, which is Samantha Ravndal's line. Now, Samantha Ravndal is one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube, and I'm actually so excited about her makeup line in general, so I can't wait to see what else she releases because I feel like she just put a lot of thought into her entire brand and the products that she did release. But sometimes, again, I kind of get pulled into the hype. And when everyone on YouTube is reviewing a new brand, I want to try it, I want to review it. But to be honest, this just is not a product that I think would work well for me. I know a lot of people are saying they love the Glow Lust, even people who have oily skin. But I think it's the same case with this product that it was with the Charlotte Tilbury, what is that product called? They have like this liquid glow product, and I can't think of the name. I purchased it and I featured it on my channel a few years ago, and I ended up saying it didn't work for me, and people got so mad at me when I said I didn't like it. But you know, when it comes down to it, not every product works for everyone, and I just don't typically prefer more of a glowy look, and that is totally fine. And if you do like a glowy look, that's totally fine too. What I feel like I've had to come to accept is the fact that sometimes the most popular, hyped up products just won't be for me, and that is totally okay. Like sometimes you just want to join in on the hype, and you want to love the products that everyone else is loving because people are just amazed by them. They're getting really good reviews. But I think something that I've really tried to do over the past year or two is just think about whether or not the products would work for my skin type or my makeup preferences. And if they're not products that I would really typically love, I need to skip over them, and that is totally okay. I think it's good to try products that are out of your comfort zone or different than your typical makeup style, but sometimes you just know that it's not going to be for you, and I feel like that is the case with the Glow Lust. So after watching a bunch of reviews, it definitely solidified my decision to skip over it. I'm glad I did not buy it. It's expensive. It's $45 plus shipping, and for what it is, that might be worth the money if you love it, but if it's something you're taking a chance on, it is kind of a lot. But that being said, I am excited to see what else she releases in the future. I'm sure she's going to have some really good products, and I can't wait. I'm still thinking about trying one of her Smoke Reflex. I'm at her website, and some of them are still sold out. The bronze and gold duo sold out so fast, and that was the one I was thinking about buying. So eventually at some point I might try that, but in the meantime, I do have a lot of gold and bronzy eyeshadows in my collection that I can play with. So that's everything I want to share with you guys in today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.